It has been absolutely hilarious to me to see men in this country losing their collective shit over the 4B movement. For those of you that don't know what it is, the movement started in South Korea, a society that is very misogynistic. The 4Bs refer to 4 words in Korean, which I'm not going to pronounce, but I will put right here and tell you what they mean. No hetero marriage, no childbirth, no dating men, and no hetero relationships. The women in South Korea are fighting back against a society that treats them horribly. And many in the US now are starting to take up that movement as well. And you know what? I'm all for it, because the fact is women have been fighting for centuries to be treated with the same level of respect and dignity that men are. And even though they have more rights than they used to have 70 years ago, there are far too many men in this country that think women shouldn't be able to vote or work or own a house. That the only purpose of women in our society is to take care of the house and have children. It's absolutely ridiculous that women are still fighting against this level of misogyny in 2024. It's sad that for all men's statements of protecting women, it's actually more about controlling them. It's time for society to change. And if women need to take on the 4B movement in
you choosing to leave men alone don't mean that you will be left alone. So if you don't want to get...
If you have not watched his video, go watch his video. But this will be an unforeseen issue with the 4B movement once it becomes widespread in America. Patriarchy here has given men a sense of entitlement that is almost insane. One of the reasons we have not seen a rise in violence in the way that we could have is because there are women still giving losers coochie. The moment that women stop giving losers coochie, all hell is gonna break loose. And I am a part of the 4B movement, and I am prepared for what is yet to come. But I'm telling you, once women decide in mass numbers that they're not going to give losers coochie, there will be an increase in violence with these men against women. Women giving losers coochie is what's kind of keeping them at bay, and it still ain't been keeping them at bay enough. Mark my words. We will see an increase in violence. That is why I am urging women, get you a pum-pum, take defense classes to learn how to fight, learn how to protect yourself. Because the moment women stop giving them losers the buns, we gonna have to start putting them down like dogs. I hate that. I'm not for violence, but this is reality. So get prepared.
Okay, so there are 5 things that men are going to do to try to fight the 4B movement. One of them is going to be terror. They're going to use terror to threaten women. They're going to try to scare women, but telling us all the things they're going to do to us. And some of them aren't going to actually act out these things. So you're right. It would be good to get your self-defense strategies ready. Thing number 2 will be sour grapes. Oh, we didn't want you ladies anyway. Y'all are over 30. Y'all are used up. Just that. Third thing that they're going to do is attempt to appeal to and exploit feminine empathy. Y'all are really being selfish. You're really hurting people. You women don't care about what this is doing to the world, to the male loneliness epidemic. This is pretty much just the baby crying. You know, if you're black, we all black people need to come together. We can't keep doing this gender war thing. Thing number 4 is going to be attempting to start movements of their own, which they've already done. Well, everything I'm saying they've already done and are already doing, but this one will be short-lived because they don't have a good reason for wanting to divest from romantic relationships with women. And they've never been in romantic relationships with women. They've just been exploiting women. Collectively speaking, on an individual basis, you know, I can't speak to that. But collectively speaking, fabricated romance has been pretty much a collective exploitation of feminine energy in women. Number 5, the 5th thing that they're going to do when all else fails is call daddy. Dad is the law. This is happening now as well. Reproductive rights being taken away from women. That's the boys calling daddy in order to force mom to stay. We're seeing it all play out, but it's really interesting.
Like the 4B movement, Is that not of the devil? Like, it's literally evil. These women are talking about how they're not going to date men, sleep with men, procreate with men, and all these other things, right? And it's like, wow, like, what are you going to do? Feminism is going to lead these women into dating each other. This is not going to benefit you in any way. This just screams you hate men. Like, imagine if men got on this app and said, oh, yeah, we're going to participate in the 4Bs, and we're not going to sleep with women. We're not going to talk to women or date women. You know, we would get shamed for that. Actually, you know what it sounds like? It sounds weird. Like, this literally goes against human nature. You're not going to sleep with men and procreate with men and marry men.
Welcome to the Find Out portion of Fucking Around, where women literally don't care if we go extinct. Like, literally, women all over the world have decided that if the choice is to be married to a man who treats us like nothing, who gives us no incentive or benefits to being in that relationship, or the population dying off, we will let it die off. Don't worry, it won't, because there are plenty of women who will still sleep with you. But those aren't the women you're going to want. No, you're going to want the women who don't want you. Otherwise, this wouldn't bother you so much. Because it's not actually about wanting what's best for humanity. It's about you wanting to control the women you can't. Also, I think it's cute that you think if you came out and said you weren't going to sleep with women anymore, we'd actually care. Most of us just want you to leave us alone. Also, marriage isn't natural. It's a contract. It's about ownership of property, women, and study after study have shown that men who are married are happier and live longer, but women who are married are less happy and don't live as long. Oh, and sweetheart, it's not about misandry. It's not about us hating men. It's about us expecting men to evolve and be better, and you choosing not to. So if you don't like this, if you don't like the fact that women have said, you know what, we're done, we're peacing out, let it die off, you have no one to blame but yourselves.
Women are not the way they were back in the day. What happened to our grandmas? You know what happened to your grandma? Your grandma was trapped in that marriage with your
Let's listen to a couple short clips from this elder's love story.
Now I'm stuck with this crazy man that I had the baby for, and he told me, he said, if you don't marry me, I'm going to kill you. So I was like, I ain't trying to marry this man because he has already been slapping on me before then. I was like 19. Anyway, so I had to deal with him. So as time went on, I went on and got married because I was afraid for my life. Yeah, so anyway.
Did you hear that beautiful marriage proposal? He said, if you don't marry me, I'm gonna kill you. She got married not because she was head over heels in love, not because this man was so good to her, but because she was afraid for her life. And I promise you, this lady probably got a grandson right now on the internet talking about why isn't anybody like my grandma? So the next time a Dustantian from the region of Krustyville gets up in your face and has the nerve to say, why aren't you like my grandmama and my mama? And why can't you treat me the way they treated my granddaddy? Go ahead and send them this video. I'm gonna tag it in the caption.
4B movement is a victory for us because we told them we don't want no old single mothers. They hit the wall, they're over 30, they had children before they got married, and they got a high body count. They're doing us a favor.
I don't care how many men make videos like this, act like they don't care that women don't want to marry them or have their children. We're all very well aware that there is a single male loneliness epidemic going on right now. There's not a single woman loneliness problem. The 4B movement is about decentering men, and here they are doing what they always do, and that's putting themselves in the center of somebody else's movement. They have been trying their hardest to co-opt any movement that women get. We say we want a soft life, here they are talking about they're in their soft guy era. We say sprinkle, sprinkle, now they're talking about drizzle, drizzle. Like every time we make a movement, they try to mirror us. How are you the leader when we're always following us? I guess we must be the leaders. I think the men are becoming afraid because they're realizing a woman's power. When they see these decreasing rates of marriage and childbirth, they're realizing that it's the women who have decided to make it that way. So they've always come up with some kind of scare tactic, some kind of manipulation, but the latest tactic is to act like it was their idea. We actually like this, right, fellas? We wink, wink. Yeah, we this is what we want too. No, this isn't what you want, but it is what you're going to get. The manipulation and scare tactics aren't working, and they never will. You're going to have to do the one thing you have been avoiding the whole time, and that is change and become a better man if you ever want to be with any one of these women. No one is settling for you anymore. So today we are talking about the 4B movement, and I see a lot of people have a lot of opinions on it, so I want to hear all of you guys' opinion, and I'm going to share a few videos about other people's opinions. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it, and my opinion will also be included. So let's take a look and see how this movement is going.
Men can't believe that women are single by choice because men aren't single by choice.
If you saw this video on your For You page, you already knew I was coming. This is the reason why it will never bother me when men are in my comments saying women are lying. They don't want to be alone. They're gonna die miserable and lonely and just lead terrible lives without a man in it. Guys, this is gonna be a really big word for you, okay? But are you ready, men? It's called projection. Now it's a big one, you know, so I'll put the spelling down in the caption, but y'all can Google it and then just sit with it. Sit with it.
I'm not decentering men because I need y'all to come over here and pay these bills. How could I decenter men when I have one over here actually paying all my bills and giving me the choice of whether or not I want to go to work or not? So yeah, I mean, he's been here for a while and he's been paying all these bills, and as long as you're continuing to pay the bills, honey, you're fine. You're okay over here. But I do support the 4B movement because I'm a girl's girl and I have the choice to do whatever I want. So yeah, of course I'm not going to, you know, deal with dusties. If you're not worth my time, honey, I'm not going to give you any time. But if you got this money and you're willing to pay these bills and you're generous, you're more than welcome to come by over here. And yeah, so anyways, I do support the movement though. I'm here for the girls.
I don't know what's so funny about this fake 4B outrage from the men is that anytime a woman expresses her terrible experiences with a man, then it's always, you should have picked better. So now we're not picking at all, and you motherfuckers got a problem with it. Then don't let us talk about our deadbeat ass baby daddies. Then it's, you should have kept your fucking legs closed. So now we choosing not to fuck y'all at all. Y'all still got a problem with that. Then it's always, y'all bitches asking for too much. Y'all some gold diggers. Y'all want us for our money. Now we not asking y'all for a fucking thing. Absolutely nothing. Just to leave us the fuck alone. And y'all got a problem with that. Then when women start talking about how they want a ring, they want to get married, then it's a ring shouldn't, you know, determine how much I love you. And a marriage is just a piece of paper. We don't have to do that. So now that bitches don't even give a fuck to get married no more. Y'all got a problem with that. Women get blamed for being the single mothers who actually stay with the kids while the men go out and create 7 more single parent homes. And now y'all mad because we don't want to have no more kids at all. And if we don't have no kids right now, we not ever gonna have none until y'all get y'all shit together. So instead of empathizing with us when we talk about these terrible experiences with these men, y'all blame us for how men treat us and how they act. It's always, you should have picked better, instead of holding your fellow man accountable for their actions or apologizing on their behalf. We're gonna do better, queen. But no, y'all always place the blame on us. And now that we done found a fucking solution to the problem, since y'all ain't gonna fix it, we'll fix it. We just gonna leave y'all the fuck alone. And y'all do whatever the fuck y'all wanna do without us. But let me not. Cause it's gonna be some pick-me ass bitches that's gonna still remain, you know, out in the open for y'all to grab them and pick them. But I guarantee you it's gonna be bitches that y'all don't even want to have shit to do with. Y'all not gonna be attracted to them hoes at all. So good luck. You know, good luck with them hoes and your homeboys. Cause y'all, like I said, y'all made this bed lay in it. What the fuck is y'all mad for? And y'all can think this shit cap if y'all want to. This 4B movement came from South Korea. The South Korea bitches stood so hard on business that they don't even have first grade classes to enroll this year in several different schools. They don't even have enough children to put in a first grade class because them bitches said, nah, y'all want to act like y'all fucking stupid? You're not going to have no legacy to leave behind. So good fucking luck. Good luck.
But the women of South Korea have gotten so fed up with the misogyny.
Oh, girl, wait, hold on. It's so much worse than that. It's so much worse. And I mean worse in a really good way. Like, like, yay, team. The situation has gotten so bad. They don't have any kids. They don't have any first graders enrolled in over 150 schools. And the gag is they've only been doing this since 2019. So in 5 years' time, they have managed to erase an entire class of youth. It didn't even take them that long. It's only been 5 years. This is really bad. Now, I took statistics in high school, and I don't remember much. But I do recollect what my teacher said when numbers drastically change consistently over a certain amount of time, whether it goes up or down, whether it is good or bad. Once it gets to a certain point of no return, that shit's like a domino effect. It's only either gonna get better or worse. And if these women in Korea continue this for another 5 to 10 years, oh boy. Like, think about it. In 10 years, stacked on top of the 5 they already got underneath their belt, 15 years go by, there will not be a graduating class of 2039. We could very well see an entire generation completely wiped within our generation. And Korea is, it ain't little. It's so fascinating that they've managed to do this in such a short amount of time, like 5 years. No first graders? Just imagine what that looks like in like 4 years. There won't be whole ass elementary schools, period. And they're trying to pay these women. They're so desperate. They're like, all right, listen, hold on. We'll cut you a check. For every kid that you have, we'll give you like 75 grand. And them ladies was like, fuck out of here. No, that's quite all right. This is delicious. I truly hope that, women here in the States can get it together long enough to make this happen here. If fuck around and find out was the ultimate stage, it would be right here.
The funniest thing about the 4B movement is it always comes from women that look more masculine than the men that they're talking about. And you know the exact women I'm talking about that have like the septum piercings, the different color hair.
And the funniest thing about watching a sad, bitter pick-me talk about a movement that she has no idea what it's actually about, on top of the fact that you too have different colored hair. I see your roots, sis. Now, I'm not part of the 4B movement myself because I have an amazing man that I chose. However, if I ended up being single or if I was single, there's a high probability I would be part of the 4B movement, 100%. But the insignificant teeny brain is not allowing you to understand the reason why the 4B movement was created. The 4B movement was created in response to wanting to distance themselves from toxic and violent men.
That literally are so far in their masculine role that the men weren't even looking in their direction in the first place.
Are you joking? These men flock to hot, strong, independent women. They flock to them because their whole goal is to get them and then break them down and turn them into a pick-me. They don't want someone like this to begin with. They never do. I mean, what kind of adult content do you think these men are looking at? They're obviously not looking at plain Janes.
And it's just another way that these women are trying to one-up men, but
women wanting to remove themselves from toxic, abusive, and violent men is not their way to one-up them. It's their way to save themselves and protect themselves. All you need to do is think. I know it might be hard.
Korean women have no idea what the 4B movement is, and we need to stop this misinformation.
Okay, so thank you to my friend Annie for making that video, because I am a Korean woman currently living in Korea and I have so much to say about this topic. So most of the 4B movement videos that I've seen on TikTok are made from foreigners, and I think Korean Americans or just Asian people living in the West, but not actually people living in Korea. So like I said, I live in Seoul. What I think is happening is the Western media likes to really pick up on these sensationalist provocative topics and then makes it into an article, and then everyone on TikTok follows suit and makes videos about it. But let me tell you, I am 29, going to turn 30 this year, and literally all the conversations that I have with my friends around my age is about, oh my god, we're looking to get married, we need to find good partners, and we need to do this before it gets too late or we're just like aged out of their marriage market, you know? And I just made a YouTube video about this, Korea's population crisis, why nobody is getting married or having babies. But I also explained there are services in Korea like marriage matchmaking services where people go and you pay a broker and you submit all this information about yourself, your income, your assets, your family background, if you have any debt, like which university you went to, you submit all that information, and then they take that and then they will try to match you up with people who they think that you're on par with. So you know how you see in K-dramas how like the poor girl ends up marrying the richest CEO of Korea? Yeah, in reality that never happens. So people go to these marriage services and they're heavily used. There are literally so many in the country because everyone is using them. And so the 4B movement in Korea is a very, very small fraction of the whole Korean population in general. It's just the Western media likes to highlight that part and make it seem like it's the biggest issue in Korea, which it really is not. I can promise you that. Don't believe all those sensational articles written online all the time. Most people in Korea still like the other sex. We want to date, we want to find love, we want to get married. Those are like the big majority. And it's only the small group of extreme radical misandrists and extreme radical misogynists. They just seem like the loudest because the most attention goes to them. But yeah, I literally just dropped a YouTube video explaining about this whole thing. So go watch it, Annalie on YouTube.
The men ate with the 5B movement, I fear. They said, we're gonna leave you alone if you're a feminist. We're gonna leave you alone until we can afford to make you a stay-at-home mom. They said it as a threat. They don't know that that's like a really seductive promise, and that's fine. We don't need to tell them. They don't usually see this account, okay? But, that sounds like a dream. Yeah, save your, they're like, only date if you can afford to make her a stay-at-home mom. We don't want career women. Okay, like, yeah, part of that is misogynistic. That's crazy. Most of that is motivating. That's right. Go make sure you're financially stable before you start complaining. That's what I heard. That's not what he said. That's not what he said. But that's what I heard. He said, don't date if you can't afford a stay-at-home mom. Like, I know he also said, you know, no feminists. But, like, he doesn't really know what he's talking about, obviously. But, the sentiment of, hey, fellas, you guys should make sure you're okay before you go and date. That's awesome. I know that was supposed to be, like, in response to the 4B movement. It's just decent advice, though. Like, and you can see through the bullshit very easily. The parts where he was like, and working women, they neglect their children. Do you think women want to work? Do you think I dream of labor?
I am not someone who is going to decenter men because I know that we both need each other. The women need the men need the women. But at the end of the day, it is your body and it is your choice. As a woman, you always have the final say-so whether or not you want to give a man a child. You know what I mean? It is your decision because you're the mother. You are the womb that carries the child and create life, right? So I do believe it is your choice. So if these ladies who are part of the 4B movement feel like, you know, they're not getting what they deserve in a relationship and they're not getting what they feel they deserve from a partner, it is their right to decide whether or not they want to bring a life into this world, because it is better to not bring a life into this world where they're going to be suffering than to bring the life into this world and knowing good and well that this life is going to be suffered. Like your children are going to go through it all because you chose the wrong man. And a lot of time the switch up does happen where you are perfect until the baby comes, because I have friends and family who I've seen this from all the time, where they've been together for 16 years and then a year after the baby comes, they break up. So it is very possible that this can happen, but at the end of the day too, you always get signs when dating someone, and you know if whether or not they're going to be a good provider and a good father for your child. And plus, if that's how I feel, right? If you get the signature on paper where you get married, it is guaranteed that you will be taken care of by that person, unless that person, of course, is a deadbeat dad or something. But at least you have that signature, and you know, versus like having a child where you're not married. That's why I guess they push the whole having children out of wedlock kind of thing, because if you're married, it is by law, it's their responsibility to take care of that child, versus if you're just, you know, in a relationship with that person and you have a child, then they kind of sort of can decide whether or not they don't want to take care of the child. Yes, you can go and get child support, but it'll be easier if you are in a marriage. So the whole decentering men thing, I don't really agree with all of it, but I do agree that if you decide that the person or men that you're in your area or men around you, you feel like they're not great men enough to be the father of your children, I feel if you want to do that, if you decide you don't want to, you know, have a kid with them, it is totally your choice. And that's how I feel about it. I'm not here to decenter men, but I also am not going to just have kids with men just because, you know, they're men. No, you have to be able to take care of your kids. As a man, it is literally your responsibility to be a man, to be a provider, a protector for your family. And if I see that you're not capable of that, if we're in a relationship and I can see that you're not capable of taking care of me, I cannot trust you with a whole other human being, because you can't even do the things that you're supposed to do right now, and it's just me and you. So I really cannot trust you to take care of your family if I were to give you that blessing of a child. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it is the woman's choice to decide whether or not she wants to bring the next generation to this world. And we're the only person who can do this. Okay? Yes, they say that men can, you know, impregnate 10 women in the same day. Hallelujah. Thank goodness for you. But at the end of the day, it is those 10 women's choices whether or not they want to keep this baby. You know what I mean? So it is their choice. At the end of the day, the woman has the choice. If we don't change the way things are right now, in a few years, it's going to be the same thing in America. The birth rate is going to drop because when men are deciding to do this drizzle where they're going to decide they're going to stop dating women, I guess, because they are in their soft guy era. They want flowers and getting their nails done and wear skirts and dresses and stuff like that. Congratulations to y'all. But it's going to be a lot if this is how things are going to go, if we're going to keep fighting with each other. The feminine energy is here, and she's not gonna go anywhere. She's never disappeared. She's always been here. But I think now it's just taking over more because people are being honest and speaking about those kind of situations. Like I said, I'm not here for Dusty. We don't support Dusties over here. But at the end of the day, too, I do not decenter men, because a man is paying my bills right now. So how can I decenter the man that's paying my bills?